It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl, the opening of our 34th season here in Prince George's schools. We test our students' IQ, their science IQs, their literacy, and we invite you to play along with us today. Let's meet today's teams. First, from Martin Luther King Middle School, would you please say hello to Martin McCall, Trevor Bateman, and Sabrina Pillai. And from Oxon Hill Middle School, here they are, Lilia Ann Puyan, Ashley Morataya Hernandez, and Isabella Rivera Winder. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing, and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
And here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points. The tougher ones are worth 15, 20, and ultimately the toughest question of all, the 25-point question. We start our teams out with 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. Into the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 good-looking, talented teams will come back to play our game again and perhaps advance to the semifinals. We should note that both of these teams, their schools, have been county champions in the past, so we've got some tradition here we're working with. Let's go over and make sure everything working properly. Let's go to that red team. Trevor, try that buzzer for me. All right, good luck to you, to Sabrina, and to Martin. And Ashley, how about that green team buzzer? Hey, it's looking and sounding pretty good over there, too. I like the smiles on your faces, too, because we're going to have a good time. Lilia Ann and Ashley and Isabella, welcome to the show. Do you guys have any last-minute questions before we start? All right, let's have a good game. We go alphabetically M before O. So Martin Luther King, let's play the bowl.
Can we have Let's Get Physical for 15 points?
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, the heliocentric theory of the solar system.
The sun is the center of the universe.
Okay.
By Galileo.
That's what I wanted to hear. Galileo was the man who proposed that, and he made a lot of enemies. He was excommunicated from the Catholic Church because of that. Okay, King, go.
Let's Get Physical for 20 points.
20 points under Let's Get Physical. Teams, if you want to get the plaque off your teeth or take the odor out of your refrigerator, you use a chemical with the symbol NaHCO3, better known as this substance. Martin Luther King.
Fluoride.
Not chloride,
Fluoride.
not fluoride, no. To take the plaque off your teeth or to absorb the odors inside of a refrigerator, there's a chemical with the formula NaHCO3, better known as this. Baking soda. Baking soda. Go again, red.
Can we have Zoo Parade for 15 points?
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, sea lice are not insects, but rather the larvae of these stinging cylindrids that you don't want to find when you go to the beach. Ashley.
Bees?
Not bees, no. Remember I said they're not insects. They are the larvae of these stinging cylindrids that you don't want to see when you go to the beach.
Jellyfish?
Jellyfish, yeah, that was the correct answer. Good comeback. Go green, or red rather.
Green things for 15.
For 15 points in green things. This is amazing. Scientists recently saw under soil that was permanently frozen for over 1,500 years some of these green fuzzy plants that you see growing on the north side of a tree. Ashley?
Moss.
Moss, yeah. And that moss was still viable. It was still alive. Imagine being alive all that long. Good answer. Go green.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, England is so green that some people say that its major non-industrial product is this green pigment. King. What you got?
Chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll, that's right, the chlorophyll in all that greenery. Good answer. Thank you, Martin, for your help. Go King.
Can we have Zuparade for 20 points?
Zuparade for 20 points. All right, teams. The drone-like spacecraft that NASA is sending back to Titan, one of Saturn's moons, is named for this helicopter-like insect. Oxon Hill. What is that helicopter-like insect called? You rang in? Who has an idea? No. Time's up. Martin Luther King. The drone NASA sending to Titan, Saturnian moon, named for this helicopter-like insect.
A bumblebee.
A dragonfly. Dragonflies, they look like little helicopters flying all over the surface of a pond. Okay, 90 to 65, advantage red still.
Can we have body systems for 15?
Body system for 15 points. Teams, a very early primitive form of this device was called an ear trumpet. Ashley.
Hearing aids?
Yeah, hearing aid, good. You connected the dots over there. Nice playing, go.
Can we get daylight signs for 5?
Daylight signs for 5 points. You know, last summer in Las Vegas, they came by the millions, not to gamble, but to eat these insects that Aesop said were lazy, while the ants did all the work. Martin Luther King.
Grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers, yeah, the locusts. Yeah, the grasshopper and the ant. Yeah, they came in swarms and they eat everything in sight. Go, Red.
We have Let's Get Physical for 25.
Physical for 25 points. Big one in that category, teams. Since the moon, at its current distance from Earth, takes up the same amount of sky as the sun, it lets us see, like we did in August of 2017, one of these. Specifically.
A solar eclipse.
Specifically.
A total solar eclipse.
Yes, sir. That's what I want to hear. Go Red.
Body systems for 20.
Body system for 20 points. Teams, if the pupils of your eyes have a white glow, it could be that these are growing on your lenses. They're called cataracts. Cataracts. Go again, Red.
Can we have green things for 20?
Green things for 20 points. This is a spelling question. The glands inside of a flower, they're sometimes on the outside, that produce the sweet substance that the bees like. It's called a nectary. I will give you 20 points if you can spell the plural. Nectaries. Spell nectaries. Girls, spell among yourselves in case I have to come to you. Soft voice so we can't hear you. Who's going to be my speller? Trevor, say the word for me.
Nectaries. Nectaries.
You got it. Nicely done, young man. Okay, and that buzzer says we've come to the end of the first round. It's been a good one. Martin Luther King is at 140, Oxon Hill at 80. Lots of points to give away. More Science Bowl straight ahead. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Science Bowl. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. And here we are, starting out 34 years after we first started this game, and the students keep getting better and better, and it's just a wonderful way to shine the spotlight on some of Prince George's finest, some of our elite science students that are here. We've got 4 students here today that have never played the game before. These 2 gentlemen we're going to talk to first, though, have been here a number of times. Let's go to Martin Luther King, past county champ. Trevor, tell us about your school. Who's your principal?
Our principal is Dr. Rotunda Floyd Cooper.
Wonderful, yes. And I know she's been there for a couple of years, and I know there were some things you wanted to tell me. Go ahead, read from your script.
So MLK is a well-rounded school. This year we have lots of clubs such as Science Bowl, this Destination Imagination, and also Math Meet. We also have sports. We have soccer and baseball and softball. We also have extensive Spanish and Chinese programs. We also have 3 music programs, which are orchestra, band, and chorus. Also this year we have dance. And new this year we have advisory for 45 minutes, so kids can get help, they can build their character, and they can socialize.
Very important as well. Which of those clubs, I know you're part of Science Bowl, Trevor. Do you participate in any of those others?
Yes, I participate in Science Bowl, Jazz Band, Math Meet, and Destination Imagination.
Well-rounded young man. This is your 4th time on the show, is it not? And it shows. You're such a good player. And you'd like to be an engineer someday, correct?
No, I would like to be a microbiologist that
That's
studies
right, with the
paleontology.
paleontology, that's right. We have some engineers, but you weren't one of them. My mistake there. Any alternates on your team?
Yes, we have Kalima Khan and Kevin Kresge.
Wonderful. And can I ask you to tell us who your wonderful, wonderful coach is?
Miss Butler is our coach.
Absolutely. Elizabeth, thank you for all the work that you've done over the years. I mean, Science Bowl, you are synonymous with Science Bowl. Thank you, Trevor. Martin, tell us about yourself. Now, you want to be an engineer, right?
Yes.
Yes, all right. And you were on the Bond Mill high school or elementary team, and now here you are with Martin Luther King, so you've got some experience. What do you like about the game?
I like that it's like Jeopardy, and then you get to like show off your science knowledge and see if you can beat the other team for points.
Absolutely. You
And
know,
then
everybody, you know, we want you to have a good time, but you guys want to win. You're out for blood a lot of times. You want those bragging rights. I get it. And I know you're a triathlete and you like to hike the Appalachian Trail. What did you do over the summer? Did you do any of the trail over the summer?
I did, I think, like another 10 miles of the trail because sadly our filter, me and my dad were there, but it sadly broke, so we had to end 3 days early because we then didn't have any fresh water.
Yeah, you can't go along without water. You're absolutely right. Well, I know you're going to, that's a great thing you're doing, Martin, and nice way to bond with your dad there. Sabrina, nice to have you here. First time on the show. Why'd you want to do this?
Well, I love science. It's my favorite subject, so it just seemed like Science Bowl was kind of like my calling.
Yeah, it's a good fit. And you want to be an engineer, a chemical engineer, is that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. How'd you get that idea?
Well, my two favorite subjects are, within science, is chemistry and engineering, and
it's a good fit. It's a good fit. Well, you're playing a nice game so far. Oxon Hill. Ashley, tell us about Oxon Hill. Who's your principal?
Our principal is Mr. Coleman.
Oh, he's a great guy, too. And I know he brought you here today, didn't he? Yeah. And you've got not just one, you got 2 coaches. Who are they?
Dr. Slade and Miss Watts.
And they're out there, they're watching, and they're trying to send you messages through the wall here because I know they're yelling those answers out down there, and they're great supporters. Do you have any alternates on your team?
Randy Gonzalez.
Wonderful. Tell me something really cool about Oxon Hill that you think our audience should know. Some neat programs or activities or whatever.
We are treated like kings and queens, and we have many after-school activities.
Wow. Like what?
Like softball. We have band.
Yes.
We have chorus. And we have performances and dance.
That's wonderful. And what do you do? What are your specialties? What are some of your activities?
I like to draw.
Yeah, that's right. You told me that. And what do you want to do someday?
I want to be an engineer.
An engineer. And of course, we're going to go to your coronation, Your Majesty, because, you know, kings and queens down there, right? All right. I think that's a very nice thing. Treat young people with respect and adults, too, and you'll have a good life. Yeah. Nice to have you here. Lilia Ann, tell us about yourself. What do you want to do someday?
I want to
be kings and queens on there, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes. I want to be a doctor.
Yeah. And I asked you before about what kind of doctor. You have a lot of time to determine that. But why a doctor?
Because I want to help like people and treat them.
Oh, absolutely. Because when people are in need and when they're in pain, you know, you can be the guardian angel. You can come in and you can make their lives better. And that's a noble reason to do that. Keep up your good work here today. Isabella, you're a dancer, huh? Are we going to see you with the American Ballet Theater someday? You got the look. You got the look. I can see you doing that. Do you do performances now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why do you want to be on today's show?
Because I want to grow like my love for science, because sometimes I say I like science, but I want to say I love it.
Yeah. You really want to get into it. You want to get into the weeds. You want to feel that passion. Well, I hope this helps. Hope this helps. Welcome to the show. All right, let's get back to the game. 140 for King, 80 for Oxon Hill. Lots of points to give away. Last correct answer came from Trevor, so go.
Science potpourri for 15 points.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, if you want proof that birds descended from dinosaurs, look at the pileated woodpecker, which has a crest on its head, just like, Ashley?
Pterodactyl.
A pterodactyl, exactly right. Thank you, Isabella. She said, I knew that one. I knew that one. Good. You're near the century mark. Go, green.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. I like this question. Listen carefully, teams. A comb, a saw, and a zipper have these body parts. Yes, Trevor?
Teeth.
Yeah, but they don't have to brush them. You got it. Good. Red.
Can we have Dateline Science for 15 points?
Dateline Science for 15 points. Teams, a test on a lock of Beethoven's hair revealed that his poor health was caused by ingesting too much of the chemical element with the symbol PB. I know, I like your enthusiasm. Just wait till we recognize you. You got it, Trevor. It is indeed lead. It comes from the word plum bum. Yeah. All right. Keep up your enthusiasm. Just wait till we recognize you. Go again.
Dateline Science for 20 points.
Dateline Science for 20 points. All right, teams. The science fiction writer Jules Verne influenced America's premier rocket pioneer, the man whose name is on the Space Center in Greenbelt. Martin Luther King?
Robert Goddard.
Robert Goddard, that's right. And there's a Robert Goddard Montessori school in this school system as well. Indeed. Go.
Dateline Science for 25.
The big one in that category. All right, teams, on the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing, they took and put on the face of the Washington Monument a projection of the name of what rocket that took men to the moon in July of 1969. What was the name of that rocket for 25 points?
Apollo 11.
Ooh, no, that was the name of the mission. What was the name of the rocket itself, Oxon Hill, that was projected onto the Washington Monument? Tough question. It's called the Saturn V, the Saturn V rocket. We would have accepted just Saturn. Go again, red.
Science potpourri for 20 points.
Potpourri for 20 points. Ooh, this is creepy. Don't go swimming in lakes and rivers in the South because these A-initialed protozoa can swim up your nose.
Brain-eating anemia.
We've got King.
Brain-eating amoeba.
I passed to Martin.
Martin?
Brain-eating amoeba.
Amoeba, that's exactly right. The A, something you do not. That's scary. That's scary stuff. There's no cure. Go red. Nice job.
Science potpourri for 25 points.
Potpourri for 25. If you know the Toy Story movies, you'll know maybe that Buzz Lightyear was named for this man.
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin, the man who was the second man to walk on the moon. You got that from both sides. Sabrina and Martin said, no way you're not knowing this. Go.
Can we have body systems for 25?
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, if you're a fan of the Washington Nationals baseball team, you know that pitcher Max Scherzer, who is phenomenal, was out for a large part of the season because he had a muscle sprain beneath his scapula. The scapula is another name for what bone?
Spleen.
King.
Spleen.
Not spleen, bone now. The scapula is another name for what bone in the back under which there was a sore muscle in that pitcher. Another name for the scapula. Shoulder blade. Shoulder blade was the right answer. Go red. Trevor?
Zuparade for 25 points.
Zuparade for 25. Look at the monitor in the studio if you would, please. There are a number of mammals that are poisonous, like the platypus and the shrew. This slow loris is a mammal, but it is the only member of what order of mammals that is venomous? The same order that we...
Primates.
Primates. We are related to lorises and chimps and apes. The only venomous primate, that animal. Good. Red.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points. Teams, the acid known as folic acid, which is a B vitamin, is so named because of what plant part that is symbolized by kale and lettuce and spinach. Those are all whats? They're all what, King?
Leafy greens.
Yeah, they're all leafy greens. Folic comes from folium, which means leaf. Yes, go.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for?
10.
10 points. I believe we've already done 10 points for the teeth. That one should be gone. So is there someone else, another one that's still available?
Okay.
Zuparade is available for
10.
For 10, yes, okay. Would you prefer
Parade
that?
for 10, yes.
Zuparade for 10 points. Teams, this was a very disturbing sight. This largest North American animal recently tossed a young girl with its horns
Gorilla?
Not a gorilla, no. In America now, this largest North American animal recently tossed a young girl with its horns in Yellowstone National Park.
I'm going to say a bison.
It is a bison, yeah, bison, absolutely right. Good, go.
Let's get physical for 10.
Physical for 10 points. Teams, the eye wall of a hurricane, the inside of the hurricane, the eye wall of a hurricane is a ring of the cumulonimbus type of these.
Cloud.
Clouds, yeah, the cumulonimbus cloud is right. Go.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. If you watch TV, you've seen the commercial, people say that they have high A1Cs, the amount of blood sugar that they have. If the A1C is high, they suffer from this disease.
Diabetes?
Diabetes, yeah. And I heard you whisper that over there. Got to be a little quicker on that buzzer, girls. Go ahead, Trevor.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, look at the monitor again, please. If you know Game of Thrones, you'll recognize the Night King on the left. That bee fly on the right has been named for the Night King. In fact, the scientific name for that fly is Paramonivius Night King. Paramonivius is the genus name. Night King is what part of the scientific name?
The family?
No, not the family. The genus is Paramonivius, and Night King is the second part. What's the second part of the scientific name called? Genus and what? Species. Genus and species. Homo sapiens, boa constrictor. Go, Red.
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, ecologists talk about the food chain and the food web. But Disney, in The Lion King, talks about the circle of what?
Life.
Life, the circle of life. Yep, go, Red.
Let's get physical for 5 points.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, the author John Green invoked heavenly bodies when he wrote his book about 2 kids suffering from cancer at the same time. The title of his book, The Fault is in Our what?
Stars.
Stars.
Stars, absolutely right. Good, go. Thank you, Mike Martin.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, if you're at a party and there's Lady Gaga and there's Beyonce and you're like, oh my gosh, you're rubbing these joints with them. Yeah.
Hips.
No, you're not rubbing the hips. You're not going to be that familiar. You're rubbing these joints with these people. Elbows. You rub elbows. That's a phrase. If you're rubbing elbows, you're hobnobbing with celebrities. Go again, Red.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. All right, let's go back to the movies. Among the arthropods starring in Marvel Comics' Avengers movie was this character named for a deadly spider.
The Black Widow.
The Black Widow, yeah. Go. We got one
Green
question
things for
left.
green
All
things
right,
for
green
5.
things for 5 points, teams. If you know your Christmas carols, you'll know this one. In the 12 days of Christmas, a partridge was found in a
Pear tree.
Pear tree. That's your green thing. And with that, we've come to the end of our Science Bowl game. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back. Well, what a great start to our new year here on Science Bowl. Wonderful game here today. Let's give a round of applause to everybody. You all did a great job. Our girls from Oxon Hill, first time ever on the show, they acquitted themselves beautifully. And Sabrina, as did you, first timer. And Martin and Trevor, you guys were unstoppable today. You knew your stuff. You've got lots of experience. So our final tally today is Martin Luther King 330, Oxon Hill 95. Martin Luther King, congratulations to you. We're going to see you in the next round of competition. Kalima and Kevin back there, the alternates. Kevin, he's staring out. He's so happy. Look at that. And Elizabeth, thank you so much for all that you do and for this wonderful team. And Lilia, Ann, and Ashley, and Isabella, as I said at the top of the show, you are elite students. You're wonderful ambassadors for Oxon Hill. We congratulate you for being here. And Dr. Slade and Ms. Watts, thank you so much for being here and sending us such great students. And thank you for being here. Hope to see you on another edition of Science Bowl. Till then, I'm Dave Zarin. Bye-bye.